I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started with the no half-step in hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck, and once you're done with that, you can click on that merchandise tab. That's where you'll find our classic logo t-shirt and our Pride logo t-shirt, as well as all of our different special event t-shirts. You'll also find all of the gimmicks you've come to know and love from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art. It's the perfect time of year to outfit your entire home with Renegades of Puck merch. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you for helping us out. You can also help us out by going to social media. Give us a like, give us a subscription. Also leave a comment, help us out. It goes a long way. It doesn't take you but a second, doesn't cost you anything, but it goes a long way in helping us out. You can find us on a myriad of different platforms, whether it's social media, whether it's podcast platforms or YouTube. You can find the Renegades of Puck basically everywhere. Stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you for helping us out on those endeavors. You can also become a partner of the show by going to Venmo. Thank you so much. Stick taps, love, and respect again to the generosity of the Renegades of Puck out there, just like you. Thanks to your generosity, we've been able to upgrade the bunker significantly. New microphone, new lighting, and all kinds of other gimmicks coming along, as well as some special events that I look forward to telling you about soon. You can find us on Venmo by just scanning the QR code that's currently on your screen, or just search Renegades of Puck. Thank you again. We sure do appreciate all of the support. Now, it's time for me to deliver the goods and get to the no half-step in hockey coverage. So let's get right to it. It's time for operation number 677 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 677. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division after 18 games played. They have a record of 8-8-2. 18 points has them 6 points behind first place Dallas. The Dallas Stars have 24 points. Second place Colorado Avalanche have 21 points. Winnipeg tied in points with Colorado at 21. The St. Louis Blues have the same number of points as the Predators at 18. The Minnesota Wild also at 18. Chicago at 15 in 7th place. And the Arizona Coyotes, the Nashville Predators' next opponent, in 8th and last place in the Central Division with only 13 points on the season, 5 points behind the Nashville Predators. On home ice, the Nashville Predators are 5-3-2, and they'll close out a 5-game homestand here against the Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes have a record of 6-9-1 on the season, only 13 points, last place in the Central Division, a road record of 5-7. They've scored 41 goals on the season, giving up 58, a goal differential of -17. The Nashville Predators have scored 49 goals in the season. They've given up 59, a goal differential of -10. The Arizona Coyotes are currently in the middle of a 14-game road trip, and we'll go back and just review the most recent 5 from that road trip. On the 8th of November, a 4-1 victory at the Buffalo Sabres. On the 10th of November, a 2-0 victory at the New York Islanders. And then this road trip kind of comes to a screeching halt for the Coyotes. On the 12th, it was a 4-2 loss in New Jersey, and then a 4-1 loss to the New York Rangers, and most recently a 4-1 loss at the Vegas Golden Knights. Pavelka in net goes 35 out of 39. That name should sound familiar, as well as the other goaltenders for the Arizona Coyotes, all former Nashville Predators. For the Nashville Predators, once they wrap up this 5-game homestand, they'll have a 1-game road trip Wednesday in Detroit, and then Friday back home against Colorado to start a 3-game homestand. Saturday against Columbus Blue Jackets, back-to-back over the Thanksgiving weekend. The 29th of November to close out the month versus the Anaheim Ducks. December the 1st, already to the month of December, the Nashville Predators will be in New Jersey to face off against the Devils. Injuries for the Nashville Predators starting to become an issue. Trennan and Jankowski missed the last game, both listed as day-to-day. Borowiecki still on injured reserve. These two teams, by the way, will play 2 more times this season, once again in Nashville on February the 13th. Then February the 26th, Nashville will go to Arizona for their one and only trip of the season. Taking a look inside the numbers in the NHL rankings between the Nashville Predators and the Arizona Coyotes, neither of the stat categories are going to seem very impressive. Goals for the Nashville Predators, 2.67 is 28th in the NHL, and that is actually better than the Arizona Coyotes, 2.56 per game, which is ranked 30th out of 32 clubs in the NHL. Goals against, the Preds are 17th in the league, giving up 3.22 per game. The Arizona Coyotes are 28th in the league, giving up 3.63 per game. Coyotes dead last in shots on goal per game, generating only 24.1 shots on net per game. And the Nashville Predators are 28th in the NHL in shots on goal, generating 29.4. Shots against, Arizona is 29th. The Nashville Predators are 20th. Special teams, the Arizona Coyotes actually do roll out impressive special teams unit. Power play 6th best in the NHL, 27.6% conversion rate, 16 out of 58 opportunities. Their penalty kill is 7th in the NHL, and they've only given up 12 power play goals against on the season, killing off 81.8% of their penalties against. The Nashville Predators have the 29th rated power play in the NHL, converting at 16.2%, 11 out of 68. The Preds do have the 10th best penalty kill in the NHL, however, 80.9%, 13 power play goals against. So outside of the special teams metrics, these two teams rank near the bottom of the NHL in virtually every category. Should be a good, statistically even matchup between the two teams. Take a look at the individual stats between these two teams. Take a look at the visiting Arizona Coyotes first. Keller, 7 plus 11 for 18 points on the season. He leads the Arizona Coyotes in both goals and assists and, of course, points. Gus Barrett, 4 and 6 for 10. Boyd at 2 and 8 for 10. Maselli, 1 and 9 for 10. And then Ritchie at 6 and 3 for 9. In net, Vejmelka, 5 and 1 on the season, 909 save percentage, 3.23 goals against average. Connor Ingram, 1 and 4 on the season, 870 save percentage, 4.32 goals against average. Taking a look at the stats for the Nashville Predators, Phil Forsberg leads the team in total points, 7 goals and 11 assists for 18 points. Matt Duchene has 4 goals and 10 assists for 14 points. The captain, Roman Jossi's now at 3 goals and 11 assists for 14 points. Mikael Granlund leads the Nashville Predators in assists with 12, add 1 goal to that, and he has 13 points. And Nino Niederreiter leads the team in goals with 9, add 2 assists to that, he has 11 points. In that, UC Saros now 6 and 2 on the season, a 906 save percentage, 3.09 goals against average. Lankinen, who I'm anticipating will get the start against the Arizona Coyotes, has a record of 2 and 2 and save percentage of 9.21, goals against of 2.60. We haven't seen him in action in quite a while, and you have to figure he needs to get one of these games. He's probably needs to get one of the games coming up, at the very least, coming up in this Thanksgiving holiday week upcoming. That gets you all set for the Nashville Predators and the Arizona Coyotes Monday Night Hockey in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. First meeting of the season between Central Division rivals Nashville and Arizona. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you can check out their work by going to rebirthsports.com. Find them on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, and, of course, on Facebook. You can see their work right here as I'm wearing the Renegades of Puck home jersey in the bunker hosting the show tonight. You've also seen me wearing the road jersey, the third jersey, and plenty of other jerseys. I'm out there skating across the different ice surfaces of Middle Tennessee, whether it's in league play for the Mighty Drunks winning Stanley Kegs, or it's at the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships on Lake Nokomis in Minnesota. I represent Rebirth Sports by wearing their threads, and I get asked everywhere I go about them. I recommend everybody just go to rebirthsports.com and help them take your visions and make them a reality today. rebirthsports.com. Let's go all the way back to 11/19 of the year 2022, and the Nashville Predators were facing off against the Tampa Bay Lightning. John Hines deploys his lines in the following way, and due to injuries to 2 of his regular players, they are a little bit different. Forsberg, Parsonen, and Granlund, Tolvanen, Sissons, and Janot, Niederreiter, Johansson, and Duchene, Smith, Glass back in the lineup, and McCarron at wing. McDonough and Josi on the first D pair again in this game, at Coleman, Carrier, Luzon, and Fabro on your third defensive pairing. It's just 9 seconds into the game, and that's what you come to expect from the Tampa Bay Lightning, as Saros has to come up with a big save on Victor Hedman, first shot on goal of the game, and it's a very good shot, followed up rebound opportunity also turned aside. 39 seconds into the first period, Hedman's off the box, 2 minutes for tripping on Roman Josi. UC Saros has come up with a huge shorthanded save on Paul with the paddle, and that's when Philip Forsberg goes down the ice and converts his 7th goal of the season as a one-timer from the outside of the face-off circle, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning at Bridgestone Arena. 2:09 of the first period. Stamkos off the box, 2 minutes for tripping on Carrier in the offensive zone. 0 shots on goal for the Nashville Predators on this power play. As a matter of fact, they would generate nothing, now 1 of 2 in the game. 4:45 In the first period, UC Saros comes up with save on Kucherov. 7:49, Vasilevsky comes up with save on Yossi's heavy shot. 8:18, Saros comes up with save on Point, all alone in front with the leg, using a lot of resources and assets right here by the netminder for the Nashville Predators to keep this puck out of the net. 13:04 of the first period, Carrier comes up with a slick move and shot from the circle, has to be stopped by Vasilevsky. We've got a goaltender duel breaking out here in the first period at Bridgestone Arena. 16:17 of the first period, Paul's up to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Vasilevsky goes to work, big save on Duchesne, big save on Jeannot. UC Saracen has to come up with a save on Point after the step out from the goal line towards the end of the first period. Tampa Bay, 18 shots on goal total, all of them stopped by UC Saros. 12 shots on goal for the Nashville Predators, 11 of those stopped by Vasilevsky. On the clean sheet and into the second period, we're already 3:44 in when Johansson's off the box for 2 minutes for tripping. That's when Tampa Bay is going to strike. Kucherov's 10th goal of the season. He carries the puck through all 4 Predators and snipes. One of the most talented offensive players in the NHL, yet he hardly ever gets the headlines or talked about. A pretty goal right here. If his name was McDavid, this one would have been on the highlight reel for the next 12 hours straight. Tampa Bay ties the game at 1 apiece with the Nashville Predators. 6:29 to go in the second period. Vasilevsky comes up with a save on Jeannot. McCarron crashes the net hard looking for an opportunity. 9:10. Saros utilizes every skill in the book to stop Corey Perry with the toe. That's a Hall of Fame goal scorer right there who knows how to put the puck in the net. Stopped by a Vezina finalist and future potential Vezina winner. 10:26 of the second period, Fabro comes up with a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping, but Maroon's also off the box, 2 minutes for roughing. That'll lead to a 4-on-4 scenario at 13:22. McCarron's going to go off the box, 2 minutes for goalie interference. Now, if this penalty had been called something different, I think it would have been less controversial, but calling it goalie interference when the goaltender is 5 feet outside of his crease and McCarron is simply trying to play the puck, well, I think that is not goaltender interference, but it was deemed to be so by the officials, so that's how it goes out in the books, and that's how it will be. Saros comes up with a save on Stamkos' one-timer with the mask at the back post. It's a 5-star save right here by UC Saros. He's already come up with a number of them in this game, and he'll continue to work. 16:31 of the second, Cole's up to the box, 2 minutes for interference. Absolutely nothing for the Nashville Predators. As a matter of fact, this is the second power play in a row where Tampa Bay has gotten the better scoring opportunity. We hit the intermission. We've got a tie game, 20 minutes to decide it, maybe more. Tampa Bay, 30 shots on goal. Nashville, 20 shots on goal after 2 periods. 25 seconds into the third period, UC Saros comes with a save on Kucherov, plus points, follow-up opportunity. 2 really good, strong scoring opportunities for Tampa Bay. At start of period 2:23 into the third period, Vasilevsky comes with a save on Tolvanen's heavy shot. 5:04, Niederreiter's 9th goal, team leading for the Nashville Predators, puts the Preds back on top 2-1 at Bridgestone Arena. It was a wrist shot from the circle. He catches Vasilevsky in between moves. Niederreiter is slick and quietly going about a very nice season in his first season in Nashville. Now 9 goals on the year. 8:17 into the third period. Johansson's off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. That's when Jeannot is going to come up with a big shot, block, and clear, and 135 total in penalty killing on this penalty kill. The Nashville Predators are able to clear and kill. 10:25 into the third. Saros comes with a save on Perry. Follow-up hits the post. 13:25. Saros a save on the backhand by Stamkos at close range at 14:16. Bogosian's off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. The Nashville Predators with a golden opportunity, but they fail to extend their lead. They do much of nothing on this power play yet again. 16:39, that's when Killorn ties the game at 2 apiece with the 6th goal of the season. A sick redirect in the slot of a long shot. Tampa Bay really knows how to pour on the offense late in the third period, and that's exactly what they had been doing, pushing the Nashville Predators deeper and deeper into their own zone. We're tied at 2 apiece, and we've got a brand new hockey game. That's when 17:04 of the third period, Ryan McDonough's off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping, and this is just absolutely the worst time of the game that this could happen for the Nashville Predators. They have a strong penalty kill, though the Preds are able to, through sacrifice by Sissons and Jeannot, kill off the 2 minutes, and we do find our way to the end of regulation, each team splitting a point. Tampa Bay, 36 shots on goal. UC Saros stopping 34 to this point. Nashville with 31 shots on goal. Vasilevsky stopping 29 to this. We flip to the back of the sheet because we're headed to extra hockey, and it's an overtime session, end-to-end 3-on-3 action, but then at 2:22 of the overtime sessions. Matthias Ekholm off the box, 2 minutes for high sticking. Saros comes up with the save on Stamkos on the continuation play, so we see the 4-on-3 power play in the 3-on-3 overtime session. Remember, they add a player instead of taking a player away. None of that matters whatsoever because the Hall of Famer and the living legend Stamkos buries that puck with a heavy shot. His 10th goal of the season is the game winner for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning 3, Predators 2 at Bridgestone Arena in overtime. Tampa Bay gets the extra point. Nashville does come away with a point, though. That means they've picked up 7 out of 8 points on the homestand. Tampa Bay outshoots Nashville in the game 38-32. Preds did a good job of closing the shot gap disparity, but the Preds are still outshot by 6 in this one. UC Saros comes up with a tremendous performance. We'll talk more about that coming up momentarily. But the Nashville Predators do earn a point, and they do keep the points streak alive. Those types of things are very important throughout a season. Even when you lose a game, finding a way to get points is of critical importance if you hope to be in the middle of the playoff race, which is exactly what the Nashville Predators hope to be. The Preds still at 500 after this game, 18 games played on the season. They'll have a chance to close out the homestand against the Arizona Coyotes now. One more win, and they will secure 9 out of 10 points on the homestand. That's something you can't call for or predict. 90% of the points over a 5-game stretch, but the Nashville Predators are on the precipice of accomplishing that with 60 minutes of hard hockey against the last place Arizona Coyotes. Don't take them lightly. This is the NHL. Don't be fooled. You will lose if you fail to play a full 60. Strong Style Fitness, I advocate and urge everyone out there, please check out Strong Style Fitness and the work that they are doing to help out the Renegade community. You can find their work at strongstylefit.com, also social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. 150 workouts put online by a certified personal trainer, posted for free on YouTube and on demand anytime you need them, Renegades. It's an expensive world out there, and personal training is certainly something that you've probably had put off to the side for now. Well, Tracy is going to alleviate that stress. Whether it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years, she knows how to help, and she's got a workout all set for you. Check out her work, check out the playlist, check out everything that's going on over at Strong Style Fit, an incredible partner to the Renegades of Puck. We sure do appreciate them. UC Saros 36 out of 39 in this game. The overtime game winner by Steven Stamkos. Saros never had a chance. I don't mean to chuckle at that. Steven Stamkos is a living legend in the NHL and one of the best goal scorers of this generation, and he beat UC Saros, who is an up-and-coming, possibly one of the best goaltenders of this next generation. So it was the old living legend defeating the new young and upcomer. Steven Stamkos is just simply an incredible player. But back to UC Saros, it was a strong performance, and he's the one that earned that point for this Nashville Predators team. The Preds were largely ineffective offensively in the third period. Tampa Bay just pushing the Preds deeper and deeper into their own zone, the pressure building and building until the inevitable happened. Tampa Bay is a professional hockey team that has won championships. They know how to manufacture wins. It's what they do. It's what they've done best over the last couple of years. So for the Nashville Predators, there are opportunities to learn from this, and I'll get to that point here in just a second. UC Saros, very strong performance. I thought perhaps one of his best games of the season. Nino Niederreiter, a goal in this game. He's got 9 on the season. He just continues strong, quiet, consistent play out there, putting up numbers, scoring goals. Perhaps one of David Poile's better free agent signings. Nino Niederreiter continues having success, along with Philip Forsberg, now 7 on the season. He is building momentum. Remember how many seasons we sat and counted 3 goals through 30 games for Philip Forsberg before he got things rolling? Well, right now we're 18 games in the season. He's got 7, and he is doing just fine. He's leading the team in scoring, 18 points in 18 games. Philip Forsberg, if he stays healthy this season and continues at this pace, he's going to put together a very special season, following up on a very special season just last year. Parssinen, with an assist in this game, now has 5 points in his 4 games with the Nashville Predators. And the Nashville Predators are 3-0-1 in the games with Parssinen in the lineup. He's going absolutely nowhere. He should be penned in this lineup. But if he continues going out there, bringing the jam and putting up the consistent shifts and minutes like he has, then he absolutely deserves to continue being on this line. Something about him being added to this roster and this lineup has brought a certain bit of symmetry and balance to the Nashville Predators lineup. And let's face it, it's brought success to this Preds team. He's doing it on offense. He's also helping bring the jam. He is everything the Nashville Predators want. He's everything every team wants. He's a big body center that's not afraid to control the puck, go to the hard areas, and he's got offensive touch when it comes to going to those hard areas. Parsonen, not going anywhere. Looking forward to talking about him for a long time as a Nashville Predator. And you got to point this out. Jankowski and Trennan being out of the lineup. Nashville Predators have one of their centers and one of the more physical wingers and one of the more consistent penalty killers out of the lineup in this game. Jankowski should also be counted in that comment about penalty killing. Jankowski's been piling up shorthanded minutes time on ice as of late. So with these two players out of the lineup, the Nashville Predators lineup was depleted in some ways. Yes, they have options for replacements, but the Nashville Predators were doing good rolling with those lines. Sooner those players can get back in the lineup, sooner the better for the Nashville Predators. So Jankowski and Trennan definitely missed in this game, and you can't let up. I mean, that's the overall point of this game, and this is where you learn. You can't let up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a great hockey team full of great hockey players with tons of experience winning hockey games. That's why a couple of years ago when the Preds were in the same division with Tampa Bay, when the Preds were able to secure a victory in Tampa Bay, it was easily one of the signature wins of the season. The Lightning are still that team. We may not see them as often here with the Nashville Predators anymore, but they are still very much that team. So the Nashville Predators have an opportunity to learn something from this, and what they can learn is how to win when Tampa Bay needed to get back in this game and they needed to push the play. They were absolutely able to kick it up to a new escalation level that the Nashville Predators were unable to respond to. The Preds can learn from this, and they were still able to get a point. Learning a lesson, getting a point. I'm not going to be too hypercritical of suffering an overtime loss against a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are great after all, and hopefully the Nashville Predators take this lesson and start applying it with the Arizona Coyotes in their next game. You know what? Time to get some analysis from the Renegades of Puck. Can't wait to hear what they've got to say. Haven't had a chance to communicate with them at all this weekend. Sean C. Smith was at Bridgestone Arena. He got a chance to check out the game. A to Z Sports, that's where you can find him, and also on Twitter at SCSNSH. He's got the intel that you need. He's the one and only Sean C. Smith.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith, and we're going to talk a little bit about this overtime loss between the Preds and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the first thing I want to say is, normally I'm going to come to you and talk from a more eye test point of view, talk more about a good, strong, visceral reaction to the game with a modicum of understanding about the game of hockey. But, last night kind of puzzled me, and I don't mean like, I had no clue what's going on, but what I'm saying is that last night seemed a little bit different, and I'm going to explain why. Number one, I watched the game, and it seemed like, even though the score was tied at the end of regulation, that things hadn't really been even. And what I mean by that is it seemed like Tampa Bay had been a little more powerful and the game had been a little more one-sided than the score was going to reveal. Now, the first thing you want to do in that situation, if you're me, is you're just going to look at basic stats. And I brought up just the basic team stats from the game, and I'm going to be looking away from the camera for a minute to read them. So let me tell you this. First off, both teams, Tampa Bay 39 shots on goal, Nashville 32 shots on goal. Not crazy different there, but at the same time, they both were dead even on face-off winning percentage. They're both 50-50. That tells you that it didn't really sway things one way or the other based on who was winning face-offs. Power plays, both teams had 5 opportunities on the power play. Tampa Bay converted on 2 of them, one of them being in overtime. The Predators converted on 1 of them. That was not in overtime. Penalties and minutes, 12 apiece. Hits, that's lopsided. Hits are lopsided. The Predators had 35 to Tampa Bay's 20, but that also fits their style. And, of course, blocks. The Predators had 22 blocks, and Tampa Bay only had 10. But, again, that really just is the style that they play with. Now, to me, if you look at those basic stats, the stats that you can get very easily on NHL.com, it seems like not only were things fairly even, but in a couple of key categories, hits and blocks, the Predators had the advantage. So why didn't it translate to an advantage on the scoreboard at the end of regulation or even in overtime? And that's where I'm going to turn to some more, as Brian would call them, advanced stats which are new to me, but they may be new to you. So let's try to understand them together, right? So Jeff Middleton, who writes over it On the Forecheck, actually pulled these together. Not 100% sure where he got them, but I'm getting them from Jeff. And he said here that expected goals. Now that's expected goals. Goals are shots that you, based on what the team's doing out there, that goals that should happen based on what they're doing, based on where they're taking the shots from and things like that. Tampa Bay had 3.64 and Nashville had 2.8. And so what that means is that the Predators didn't convert on that extra 0.8 expected goal that they had out there, meaning that, they were producing, but they weren't getting the job done. Of course, Tampa Bay ended with 3 goals on what was an expected of 3.64. And so that actually tells you, like, some of those blocks and things that the Predators were doing really kind of shut that down. The fact is they had more opportunities. They had more expected goals. They had more things happening out there that should have led to goals, and they got outplayed in that sense by Tampa Bay. And, of course, that kind of shows on the scoreboard at the end of the night. Corsi 4, look, Corsi 4, I have done everything I can in my small-minded power to try to understand this, but people tell me that it's very important, and so I'm going to tell you that the Corsi 4, I think that has to do with who's taking shots on the ice, maybe something like that. It has to do, in this case, when you're comparing two teams, as like a shot share. So who is taking the most shots or something like that, or shots that should have resulted in goals? Tampa Bay, 62.5%. That means Nashville had 37.5. That's a huge difference right there. And so if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of this, it seems like if you look at these, these aren't even the super crazy advanced stats, guys. These are just like, a little bit more than your garden variety. This is like measuring things on the metric system instead of the empirical system. That's what we're doing here. It's nothing crazy. A lot of people understand this, just not me. And my explanations probably give that away too. But when you see something that lopsided, it tells you that something was off and that maybe things were not very even. At the same time, expected goals for. This is big because we look back at those expected goals earlier. Tampa Bay, 58.87% of the expected goals for, and that means that Nashville only had 41.13. And what that tells me, all of these things, whether I completely understand what those numbers mean or not. And again, I'm trying something different here. I'm trying to understand this stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Brian's going to come into the next section and tell me how dumb I am. But he's not a mean guy. He's a nice guy, so I don't have to worry about that. Maybe he'll put it on Twitter, though. I don't know. We'll see. But all of this, all of these stats and all of those results from that game, what that tells me is that the Predators were not making the most of their opportunities. They weren't getting the great scoring chances they needed to get on the ice. And while they may have had, 32 shots on goal, and Tampa Bay may have only had 7 more, the biggest difference was that the Predators weren't getting the quality shots they needed to make those goals happen, and they weren't getting as many opportunities when they were on the ice. And what that kind of means is that despite that big lopsided difference where the Predators are leading in blocks and hits, that they kind of got shut down out there. The Predators kind of got shut down by the Lightning. And so when you're talking about creating space for your teammates to do the things they can do, like Forsberg or Duchesne, that wasn't happening as much as it needed to. So all of those hits weren't really resulting in anything that was beneficial for the team. And that's how you end up with what may have appeared to be a very even game, and a game that ended in a tie after regulation. Really, the story behind that tie is quite different. The Predators really had some outstanding goaltending from UC Saros to keep them in that game and keep it close. The fact of the matter is, at the end of the night, the Predators come away with 1 point instead of 2, and while that's not as many as it could have been 0, and that would have been far worse. So, based on how this homestand's going so far, with 5 out of 6 points, I would say that the boys are pretty happy with that, and John Hines is happy too. Now, of course, with a bit of a win streak going that gets snapped, you're going to be a little bit regretful that you couldn't capitalize on that extra point and make it happen. But you know what? You live to fight another day. The biggest thing is, how far down is the team going to get on themselves? You can't get too high after a win. You can't get too low after a loss. So their mental state and how they bounce back on Monday night is really going to be the difference maker here. Big game coming up on Monday night. Should be pretty exciting. I'll be there covering for A to Z Sports. Hope you get to be there with me. Stop by and say hi. And Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
You can find him on Twitter at SCSNSH. You can find his work at A to Z Sports. You can also check him out right here on Renegades of Puck TV and in a myriad of other locations. He's a real superstar when it comes to covering the Preds. He's the one and only Sean C. Smith. Sure to appreciate him jumping in the trenches and filing that report. Sean, numbers? You? I like it. Keep up the good work, my friend. Always appreciate your work. Stripe Digital Solutions. Talk about appreciating the work. Stripe Digital Solution comes through every single time. I urge and advocate each and every one of you out there. Please go to stripedigitalsolutions.com and get yourself your own first-hand scouting report. What they do for the Renegades of Puck is help everything go. You need a strong digital partner when it comes to the current world and the way things work. All of the different social media platforms, all of the different ways that you have to go about promoting your business. You can be doing the best work and you can be working harder than anyone else at it. But if you don't have a good digital plan, then you are not going to get your work out there in front of the people that need to see it, need to hear it, and need to know about it. Stripe Digital Solutions not only helps with that, it helps me build my graphics, helps me with my website, and also helps me with a number of other problems. They are digital solutions. Brandy can help you out. Trust me. Go to stripedigitalsolutions.com and learn more for yourself today. It's time to go to the numbers guy. I should go to the box score. I should give you some numbers first. Sean gave you numbers. I'm going to give you numbers, and then we'll turn it over to the pro. Goals in this game, easy. I'm just going to go down the box score. Philip Forsberg and Nino Niederreiter score the 2 goals for the Nashville Predators. On the assist side of the category, Matt Duchene picks up an assist in this game. Also an assist for Parson and an assist for Matthias Ekholm. Shots on goal, 5 was the high by Roman Josi, and then 4 apiece for Duchene and Cody Glass. 5 blocked shots led the Nashville Predators by Tanner Jeannot. In the physical category of hits, it was 6 hits by Parson. So Parson not only an assist in this game, but 6 hits in 17:22 in total time on ice. 5 hits for Jeannot, for McCarron, and also for Cole Smith. Thought Cole Smith was noticeable on the physical side of things. Those hits were definitely impactful. When it comes to time on ice for the Nashville Predators forwards, 21:02 for Mikhail Granlund. No surprise right there that he would lead the forwards. He customarily does since John Hines has taken over the team. Roman Josi, of course, leads the team in total time on ice, 27:37 in total time on ice. Overall, you see a fairly decent distribution between the forwards in ice time. John Hines doing a good job getting all 4 of his lines out there. And UC Saros, of course, 36 out of 39 in this game. He's got the charts you need to see and the numbers you need to know.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. I'm here at Bridgestone Arena after the Saturday night loss by the Nashville Predators in overtime to the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-2. Nashville led 2-1 with midway through the third period before giving up a goal with just over 3 minutes left. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to score on the power play off of Matthias Ekholm, maybe goal-saving slash, to stun the Predators and win, here in Bridgestone Arena after trailing the majority of the game. Now, I want to start this by saying one thing. UC Saros played an incredible game tonight. In fact, he saved almost nearly a goal over expected. Despite giving up the 3 goals, he still did a phenomenal job. And the Predators may not have been in this game at all had it not been for him standing on his head throughout most of this game. But UC Saros and where he has been giving up goals is the topic of tonight's one big stat. Now, one thing I noticed prior to this game was that UC Saros is starting to bounce back. We've talked a little bit about how he takes a little bit of time to round into form, and so far he's done that. Per Evolving Wild, he's up to a cumulative running total of about 4 goals saved over expected, which is very good. Usually it takes him a little bit longer when these seasons start out, but this season he's kind of found himself right back on the thing. However, looking at some of the shot charts here, like this one right here at 5-on-5, there's a glaring issue with UC Saros this season. Even though he's done a lot better on the penalty kill and from shots up close, he's giving up a ton of goals right down the middle of the ice. And tonight was no exception. All 3 goals came right from center ice. Obviously, the second goal by Killorn was a deflection, so that was a little bit different. There was a lot of traffic in front. But the first and final goals, UC Saros had a pretty clear look at the shooter. In fact, he had great looks at the shooter, but unfortunately Nashville didn't really couldn't get guys in front to screen those types of things, and both of those goals, the first and the final, kind of went right over Saros' shoulder. And this isn't the only game where this has happened, so this will be very interesting to go and look and see, and see if we can explain why Saros has such a weakness up the middle, and see if maybe it's not a defensive miscue that's leaving shooters with a wide open look at UC Saros. But again, UC Saros played an incredible game despite all three goals coming right there from center ice, and I can't state that enough. UC Saros seems to be doing a lot better on this homestand. Nashville leaves these 4 games with 7 out of 8 points, which is something that they desperately needed after the road trip, and what a disaster it was. And hopefully, if UC Saros can continue to play the way he has tonight and the past few games, we'll start to see a more regular season by Saros than what we're used to, and hopefully get himself back into the Vezina conversation. Back to you, Charlie.
You can find him on Twitter at Brian Baston. You can also find him on other social media platforms. Just search him by his name. You can check out his work at ontheforecheck.com. He's got the charts you need to see, the numbers you need to know. He's leading the analytics revolution for the Renegades of Puck. He's also leading the Renegades of Puck analytics desk. Funny how that worked out. Brian Baston's the best. Sure to appreciate him jumping in the trenches with us this weekend with all that exuberance and enthusiasm of a number cruncher. He always brings the jam. Listen, let's go ahead and close out the show. We're going to close it out strong. 9 out of 10 points. That's how the Nashville Predators can close out this homestand. A 5-game homestand after a very difficult long road trip. Nobody could have predicted the Nashville Predators would be going into the last game of this road trip after facing off against the Rangers, the Islanders, the Wild, and then, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning, that the Predators would have an opportunity to go for 9 of 10 points against the Arizona Coyotes. That's exactly where we all find ourselves. The 19th game of the season for the Nashville Predators is a critical and pivotal game. They have a last-place opponent on home ice, and they have an opportunity to close out a homestand highly successful, picking up a point in every one of the games, and they would also close 9 out of 10 points, picking up 90% of the points on this homestand. They'll have a 1-game road trip and then be right back on home ice, where they would be currently on a point streak and red hot. The Nashville Predators cannot take the Arizona Coyotes lightly. They may recognize the goaltenders that are on the Arizona Coyotes, but those goaltenders are in it to win it. They absolutely want their careers to continue, and they would like to be in the NHL making lots of money. The only way they're going to do that is by beating teams like the Nashville Predators when they have opportunities. So the Preds cannot take the Arizona Coyotes lightly, not for 1 second. Full 60 to close out the homestand. I know, it seems like a lot to ask, doesn't it? Get yourself motivated, get yourself energized, and get yourself ready for a full hard 60 of going into the greasy and dirty areas and grinding out the jam against the last place team. But it's the least you can do as we head into Thanksgiving week. Nashville Predators fans will be very thankful of each and every one of the players if they close out this homestand with a victory. Closing out this show, want to give stick taps, love, and respect very quickly to the Nashville Spartans, 5-1 on the weekend against the New Jersey Hitmen USPHL action. I was on the call for 6 games, 18 periods, and I cannot count the number of goals that I actually called. Spartans offense was rolling all weekend. Next episode, I'll have a full recap of everything that happened. It was an incredible weekend. It was lots of fun. Predators and Lightning were the 7th game of the weekend that I did a breakdown on and did a show about. Lots of talking, still got the energy, still ready to bring the jam. That's what I call the essence of no half-stepping. We'll be back in the bunker tomorrow night breaking down Nashville Predators versus Arizona Coyotes. We'll have a recap of everything that happened with the Spartans and anything else going on across the hockey world for each and every one of the Renegades of Puck. Man, I sure do appreciate you guys. Stick taps, love, and respect. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.